Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. We have more crypto news and crypto whale alerts, which we will be covering those at the end of the video. But let's go ahead and get started with the news. So first up, we have on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. It is now sitting at 31. We're still in that fear territory. We're waiting to see how things play out over the weekend. We might see some larger activity taking place either on the day as we're waiting some new announcements coming from the White House or possibly coming on Monday. So up next, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse named 2026 Business Leader of the Year by Harvard Business School. And the total crypto market added $310 billion over the course of the last month. Bitcoin ETFs saw $819.7 million in inflows this week. There's massive 35 million XRP exchange outflows. According to Sentiment Feed, yesterday saw nearly 35 million XRP tokens flow out of exchanges. This represents the 6th largest day of Ripple outflows in 2026. Quote, historically, these large outflow days have corresponded with upcoming bullish price action. I mean, let's just be real. If the XRP is not on the centralized exchange, then there's less pressure of them actually selling it. U.S. Faster Payments Council highlights Ripple as a key domestic payment provider supporting G20 2030 targets. Bitwise says XRP new all-time highs are possible within the next 12 to 18 months. And large holders account for 94.4% of XRP withdrawals from Binance. ETF clients buy $6.44 million worth of XRP, bringing the total ETF held net assets to $1.44 billion. And massive Ripple ads spotted off Miami Beach. It's happening with Ripple. And from BitTrue, the crypto exchange, 4.5% APR with free hassle. 2 days to go until we go live with XRP flexible staking. Get on-chain level rewards without the technical hassle. Earn high with ease on BitTrue Earn. Deposit XRP to be ready. And from Ash Crypto, crypto will explode soon. NASDAQ jumped over 20%, hitting a new all-time high of 27,300 after pulling off the biggest reversal in history during an active war. The U.S. stock market added over $9 trillion in the last 25 days. All this while Bitcoin is still down over 40% from its all-time high of $126,000 and struggling to break above $80,000 for weeks now. The fundamentals in crypto right now are the strongest they have ever been, with billions in ETF inflows every week, crazy stablecoin adoption, and Clarity Act on the verge of passing. NASDAQ's previous all-time high was in October of 2025. For Bitcoin, it was October 2025. NASDAQ hit their new all-time high in April of 2025. Bitcoin still down 40% from October of 2025. They say, I think at some point Bitcoin will catch up and fill this gap. The next rally in crypto will be the biggest one in history. And incoming reports suggest Ripple connected its treasury platform to the Federal Reserve's FedNow service through Clear Connect. Tuttle Capital files for their XRP Income Blast ETF. And we also have Goldman Sachs and Ripple partnership deepening. And let's go ahead and go over the latest whale alerts. So we have $150 million in USDT that went to Kraken, $250 million in USDC that was minted at the Treasury, another $250 million again at the again at the USDC Treasury. We have $215.9 million in Bitcoin that went to Kraken, $120 million in Bitcoin to an unknown new wallet. We have nearly $389 million in Bitcoin that went to an unknown wallet. $102.7 million in Bitcoin to Kraken. $186 million in Bitcoin to an unknown wallet. $200 million in USDT to Bitfinex. another $200 million in USDT from Bitfinex over to the Tether Treasury. And scrolling up, we're going through a bit more here. We've got $105.4 million in Bitcoin to Coinbase Institutional, $168 million in USDT that went to an unknown wallet. And that's essentially it. So over the last 11 hours or so, we have not seen these 9-figure base crypto transfers. So now just taking a quick look at what's going on with XRP's price. The volume is very, very low. Look at this. We're very, very low on volume. It did close out in the red yesterday. Not much of a price movement. So far on the day, same thing. It's pretty flat. But if we just go ahead and zoom out slightly here, you guys can see that we did end up having that breakthrough on that key level of resistance at $1.40. That was back on April 16th. And then we had an establishment of a trend after those 3 candle closures, which would suggest more likelihood than not that we would see a further continuation up. Now, what is nice is that when we zoom out even more, you can see that there's been these attempts to have these nice run-ups, but then they just essentially failed. We have that instance back here on February 13th. There was another instance here on March 14th, which is pretty interesting. And then it's essentially 1 month later, look at that, April 15th. Now that I actually take note of that. And then it ran up, and then it started to fall back. But unlike these other ones, it's still trying to hold that line pretty well above that level of that Fibonacci retracement, that $1.40 zone. So let me know what you guys think about all this. Share your thoughts with us in the comments down below. And you can check me out on Blue Sky at Crypto Atlas. We're almost to 60 followers. If you want to go drop me a follow, I appreciate it. And if you'd like to show extra support, you can become a YouTube member, or you can go check me out over on Patreon. I'm Crypto Atlas over there. And that's what I got for you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. God bless, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.